Hi everybody, welcome to the Manifold channel. Let's see how to use the new split transform to split interstate highways by state boundaries. We're looking at Manifold System Release 9, and you can do all this in the free viewer, by the way, as well. And what we have here is a map that has two layers. We have a layer of a vector layer of interstate highways, that's the upper layer, and then we have a vector layer of U.S. states as polygonal areas down lower. Now, the interstate highways we downloaded from an Esri server, and if you control-click on, say, that one right there, you can see how we've just selected a single line. That's a single line object that's all the way from California to the East Coast. That's Highway 80, I believe. And down here is Highway 40, which also is a single line. While it's very convenient to have interstate highways as single lines that cover many states, sometimes we'd like to chop up these lines so that each one of them is neatly split by the state boundary. So, for example, all the interstate highways coming out of California would be split at the boundaries of California. And we can do that very easily using the transform pane. And let's click on the transform pane. Everything here, by the way, I'm showing you docked panes, which are pretty scrunched because we're working with a very small display. Normally we'd work with several larger displays, the whole Windows desktop. Anyway, we double click on with the choice of the layers. We could choose interstate U.S. states, or we could choose this, or we could choose interstates. And we can choose a variety of fields in the interstates layer. Let's choose the geom field, the geometry field. And then I'll double click on the split transform to launch the split transform template. I have a lot of options as to how I can split these shapes, but I'm going to use the so-called cuts transform. And we're going to cut with the U.S. states layer because it knows what layers I have available in the map. So I want to cut the interstates layer with the U.S. states layer. And I'm going to put the result into a new drawing. Let's call that new drawing Highways by state, and let's do an analogous table name here. So that looks all cool, and just click transform, and it'll go ahead and it'll split all the interstate highways in the United States by the U.S. states, and it'll put the result into the into what I told it to put, this new drawing, and it puts the focus on that new drawing right there. So let's drag and drop that new drawing, highways by state, into the map, and I'll turn off the interstates layer. And now you can't see them, but all these lines that were part of the interstates have now been split neatly at the state boundaries. And one of the things that we can do with them, I can demonstrate by clicking on this, clicking on what used to be a continuous layer, highway going all the way across the straight. Highway 80 is now split neatly at the state bound. So here's, for example, the portion that goes through Nevada. Now what I'd like to do, let's open the table for this. I can right click on that and choose open table. What I want to do is I want to add an attribute field to the highways by states table, which is the state name. Because if I look at the interstate U.S. states table, you can see that each one has a state name to it. So what I want to do is I want to take the state field and I want to add it to this highways by state table table. And the way to do that is real easy. With the focus on highways by state, I just click Edit, Join. I'm going to use the Join dialog to do topology overlay. And to do that, we're going to choose U.S. interstates. That's the one I'm going to join. And I want to do all the highways. No, here I want to do all the highways by state, where the geom is contained in the geometry of the U.S. states. In other words, all the highways that are contained in each U.S. state. That's going to be the join operation. And what I want to do is I want to add the state name. And I just want to copy from whatever the state name is here in the U.S. states, and I want to put it to a new field called state and highways by state. Click Join Component, and it does it. It basically does that almost instantly. If I now click on this, you can see that it's added a state name. Some places there are nulls where there aren't any states that cover highways. So let's go back here to the interstate map, and let's prove that we did that correctly by formatting all these highways by state. And what I'll do is I'll use this new state name to format each highway by that state name. And to make those stand out a little bit better, I'm going to take the Canvas World Dark Gray Base image server layer that I have here. I'm going to drag and drop that there. So that'll provide a nice dark background. So now when I go, and it's taking a while to page in because that's coming in from the server. That Manifold, of course, is instantaneous. That's just how fast the internet is working in that particular server. So let's color highways by state, and I'm going to use the style. And what I'll do is I'll style the line, and I'll do a thematic format based on the name of the state. And let's go up to 100 unique values. Click Tally. And there's all my different unique values, the different state names, and I'll use a color brewer template. Scrolling off screen here to spectral, click Update Style. There you can see we've just drawn all the highways by the name of the state. And to better differentiate that, I think what I'd like to do is let's get a different coloring of the U.S. states, which are just the boundaries. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy that and paste that, just that drawing. So now I have a thing called U.S. States 2, which I'll drop in over top of the Canvas World Dark Gray base. And in the style dialog for this layer here, I'm going to choose the background color. I'm going to set it to transparent. So that just leaves the black border areas. So now we have a nice display where we can see how the highways have indeed been cut. Here it's a little hard to tell between California and Nevada because the colors that I assign kind of at random, for Nevada and California are so similar. I could change that. Let's change that. So let's change California to something like, let's make it something blue. There. So there you can better see how all these different highways change colors. They go from state to state. We've taken a single layer of all, a layer of interstate highways, which had all the interstate highways as a single line, and we've chopped them up by the state boundaries. And we've done all this, and plus all this neat formatting. We did a topology overlay operation, basically. That's what that cut is. And then we did another overlay that to get the fields, the state name, and the join dialog. And we did all that in about 5 minutes. So I hope you've enjoyed this new video. Like I say, you can try this in the free viewer. Download viewer. There's no strings attached. And to learn how to do all this stuff and a whole lot more, you can see the other videos or check out the user manual. Thanks for watching, and goodbye from Manifold Land. Well, that was fun. If you want to see more, visit us at www.manifold.net. As always, Manifold delivers the world's most advanced, highest quality spatial products for GIS and DBMS at a low price that you can afford. Once again, that's manifold.net. See you soon.